Hi guys, Kev from Kevlar Gaming here. Right, as you can see, I'm actually sitting in front of my computer this time, so it's a bit of a talking head video, this one. And today we're looking at graphics card prices. Are they coming down? And I think the answer is yes. And I've got some stats to show you from the last quarter based on eBay prices. So let's have a look and we'll talk about what's happening and what we think is going to happen. So to start off with, I mean, I've seen graphics cards coming in stock, and when I say coming in stock, I mean there's quite a lot of stock out there now, which is bound to drive the graphics card prices down on the used market, and obviously less scalping because the cards are readily available, so people don't need to panic buy at stupid prices. Okay, so let's have a look at a few of the UK websites, the sort of main PC component shops. If we have a look at Scan here, and there's a filter on Scan, which is really handy. You can filter in stock. So all I'm looking at here is NVIDIA graphics cards, just so we got a sample. I'm just using NVIDIA, and there's 175 cards in stock. Now that is massive. I mean, over the last few years, I think we all know often you can go to a website like Scan, and there'll only be 3 to 6 cards in stock maximum. And they were all like super expensive RTX 3090s for £2,000 plus, something stupid like that. So yeah, scrolling down, there's loads in stock. Prices are still probably not what they should be, but they're definitely coming down. If we start having a look at the RTX 3060s, you can see a few are in the 400s. And same again, if we just flick through a few other stores. So we've got eBuyer. Again, they don't have a in-stock filter, but you can see there's a lot of cards in stock, and here I've got to show. So the 1660 Supers down to £300. So yeah, they were going for £450 when stock came in sometime last year or earlier this year. So the retail prices are coming down again, still not what it should be. Last year, when I managed to get something in stock around this time last year, I managed to get 1660 Supers for about £240. I think it was actually this card, yeah, this exact model, so that should be closer to the £200 mark. What else we got? So if we look at Currys, so Currys, you know, it's not really a PC gaming specific shop. It does everything electronical. So they haven't really been getting any stock in over the last year or so. Like, you'd look in and they didn't even have, you know, the ones that people weren't really buying, they didn't even have in stock. But now they've got a few in stock, so not loads, but they've definitely got quite a few graphics cards in stock. I mean, they're selling 1660 Super still for £380, so insane. But yeah, they've got stock. Overclockers, again, loads of stock. So you scroll down the list, you see all these green add to baskets, which is great news. Yeah, and some pretty decent prices. I think I found this one, these RTX 3060 Tough. I think that's the cheapest. I found it on other websites as well, so that's not a bad price in today's market. Always have to add that caveat. Yeah, so stock is coming in. So what I've been looking at really is the used market prices. I want to see how's that affecting the used market. So basically I'm using eBay, so I'm in the UK, so I'm using UK sales on eBay, all in pounds. So what I'm doing is I've had a look at multiple different cards, so I've picked NVIDIA just to focus on, to get a sample of graphics card costs. I've gone for some of the older cards, so the 10 series, the 16 series, and even one of the 9 series cards. So look at some of the, you know, the cheaper used market cards, see what you can get. I've looked at the 20 series and the 30 series. So just to show you what I've done, so how did I get my stats? So for example here, I'm searching for an RTX 3060. I'm also deselecting the parts are not working because we don't want that to skew our results, because we don't want to include cards that don't work. I'm including new, used, unopened, everything like that, so all the cards new or used. So obviously for the older cards, the 10 series and the 9 series, they're all going to be used anyway, aren't they? They're not going to be new. Same with the 20 series, there's a few new 2060s about, but mostly used. The 30 series, obviously there's new cards advertised on here as well, so eBuyer do sell some of their cards on eBay. But yeah, it's still giving us quite a good gauge of what's happening with the market prices. So just to clarify, the data of sold items goes back 3 months. So today is the 1st of April 2022. So I'm looking at the first quarter of 2022. So what's happened to the graphics card prices from January the 1st to the end of March. And I've taken an average per day. So let's say there's 6 cards sold in a day. I'm taking the average sold price, and then that's our price for that day, for that particular card. And I'm excluding postage costs, just the sold price. Now I know that can skew things, because obviously if someone's offering free postage, the actual cost of the card might go up a little bit because people are willing to pay a certain amount, including postage. But still, it's good enough to give us a nice picture of what's happening. So let's get in and have a look at the results. Right, okay, I've made my face a bit smaller now so you can see the full graphs. So here we go. So what we've got on screen now is we've got the eBay sold prices January 22 to March 22 on the GTX series that I've picked. So I've picked the 1080, the 1070, the 1060, 6GB, there's 2 versions of that one, and the 1660 Super and the GTX 970. So I've picked those because I think those are the most popular second-hand NVIDIA cards that people will be buying on eBay. Now, I mean, ruin the surprise already, because as you can see straight away, look at that trend going down in that graph. I mean, one thing I would note is the top 2 lines you can see there is the GTX 1080 and the GTX 1660 Super. Now, the 1080 is definitely 1080 without the TI, so I managed to filter on just standard 1080s. Now, what does always shock me a little bit is why are people buying a GTX 1660 Super for the same price as they could get a GTX 1080, which is a much better card. I know the 1660 Super is newer, and maybe people prefer to get a newer card, but performance wise you've got to go for the 1080 surely. So they are trending downwards, as you see. So if we look up here, it's starting around the £400 mark, and we're ending at the end of March closer to the 250. That's a great sign. That's a massive decrease. And we can see the same for the others. So the 1070, 1660 and the 970, all of them trending downwards. So we can see that's a really good indication that used prices are definitely going down. If we come to look at some of the slightly more newer cards, more expensive cards, the 20 series cards, it was a little bit more difficult to get a nice picture because I couldn't filter out the supers. So in here we've got the RTX 2060s and the 2060 Supers, same for the 2070s and the 2080s. But still, you see the trend. I mean, yes, there's some spikes, there's ups and downs. It's a bit difficult to see a nice line, but that is still trending downwards. Then we look at the 30 series cards. So we've got the 3060, 3070 and 3080. Again on this one, the 3060, I did manage to filter out the TI, so I've just got the 3060s there. 3070s and the 3080s are including the TIs. But again, lovely looking results there, trending downwards. So the 3080s there, look, we're starting around the £1,400 mark here, trending down, and now we're closer to the £1,000 mark. 3070s, yeah, sort of between 800 to 1,000, and now we're all the way down to between 6 to 700. 3060, 600, down to closer to 450. I'd say between 400 and 450. So we can have a look at them all in one graph. Not as obvious just because of the spread of the costs here. It's quite a big scale, so you can't really obviously see that slope going down as nice, as steep, but it's still a nice picture. And then if we look at a total average, so this one's a bit clearer. So this is a total of all of those graphics cards that we picked a sample of, the average price per day of all of those cards. And yeah, we can see a nice drop here. So the average of all of those, so we're looking between £500-600, let's say 550 at the start of the year. Nice sloping down, all the way looking down now. Really, the average is under £400. So yeah, what graphics card should you be buying now? I mean, there's plenty in stocks. If you need a new one, go ahead and buy a new one. Prices, like I said, are still a bit too high on the retail market, so do shop around. Like I say, that tough 3060 card I found an overclockers for £450. I think some of the other websites still had that in for well over £500, so shop around because some places will have dropped their retail price more than others. Maybe hold on for a bit longer because every day we're seeing the retail prices drop closer to what they should be. But then I can't tell you if it's all going to go wrong again, it's all going to go the other way, but hopefully not. Second-hand cards, they're definitely coming back down to what they should be. So the GTX 970, which is one that I've bought a lot of because I do like to make real budget, real entry-level PC builds. And this is one that stayed at a reasonable price, I'd say. You know, 150 wasn't too bad and I could still build a PC at an okay price for that. But when I first started doing the building a couple of years ago, I was picking them up for more like 80-90 pounds, and that's what they are at the moment. So you can see here the line is below the £100 mark. So I'd say they are almost back to what they should be for a GTX 970. 1060s, again, they are getting close around the 150. Maybe that's still a little bit too much. The 1070s, what we're looking at here, that's around the 200, under 200, so that's pretty good. I think in the last few years, cheapest I paid for one of those was about 225, so under £200. It's pretty good for one of those. And yeah, the 1080s, I mean, it's hard to say now really, isn't it, because I think we're all confused of what the correct price should be for something like this. But I'd say getting a 1080 for under 250 quid at the moment sounds like a bargain, doesn't it? But maybe it should keep going down. But yeah, well, I mean, we've seen them, well, I mean, the graph shows they've been well over £400 in the last year. We're only looking at the last 6 months where I think it's started to come down already. You know, if we manage to get more data from 2021, I think the graphs should show that it was even higher at some point in 2021. But yeah, the used market for the older cards is looking pretty compared to what it was. And the market for the 30 series cards is looking good, but I still just think they're overpriced. I mean, a basic 3060, I honestly don't think it should be £400, you know. I think we should be looking at £300, my personal opinion. But yeah, good, so I'm going to keep an eye on this. I think I'm going to do a quarterly review of the graphics card prices to see how they're going, see how we're doing. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, hope you found that useful. Good luck getting yourself a graphics card if you're after one. Do keep an eye out. If you can wait a little bit longer, shop around, try and get the right price, and I'll give you an update in a quarter's time, quarter 2 of 2022. Hope you enjoyed that, I hope you found that useful. Please do give us a like if you did, and if not already subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button because it really helps the channel out. Thanks very much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers!